it's Sam. So today I'm going to be doing a video that so many of you guys asked for. I recently mentioned that I had been trying out the new, or I don't even know if it's new, the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint Foundation. And I did just feature this in a video, I think it was my Sephora haul video, and I kind of put it on, but I didn't do like a straight on review wear test just focusing on this foundation. So I've been wanting to do it, and luckily Jay took the kids to school for me today so that I could do this, because normally I just don't have the time in the morning to do these kind of videos anymore because it's super chaotic. I'm running around, I already have to wake up super early as it is, and I just don't have the time to sit down and do these type of videos. And then on the weekends the kids are home with me, so it's been a little bit of a struggle trying to like figure out how to still do these type of videos, and I just wasn't able to. So we finally kind of like figured out like how long it takes for him to get to work, how long it takes for him or for me to take the kids to school, what time you can be back, and he was able to do it with just a tiny little bit of time before he had to go to work. So it ended up being okay. So it is called a hydrating tint, which is actually very interesting because I feel like normally I would have never actually gravitated towards this type of foundation simply because it says it's a hydrating tint. So in my mind, a tint means no coverage, and hydrating is the complete opposite of what I need or what I thought I needed because I am so oily. However, I was so pleasantly surprised when I first used this. I actually used it because I was like, oh crap, I just need to like even my skin tone out really quick when the kids were home and we were gonna go to the park. And I didn't really want to put on a full face of makeup, so I tried it, and then I was like, holy moly, this is like way better coverage than I expected. And so for a while I just wore it like real minimally, like without all my powders and all that kind of stuff. It was just like super basic. Then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and try it with all my powders. And then I was like, holy moly, this is craziness. Like, why did I not try this foundation sooner? So it's $16.99 for 1 fluid ounce. And this is that plastic? I think it's plastic. There are altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10 shades, which, that's the problem with drugstore makeup, is that I find it very, very difficult to find your perfect shade. So for me, especially if you are of deeper skin tone or of lighter skin tone, this might be a struggle. I actually have to mix 2 to get my perfect color, so the shade range is not great. The colors that I am are 60, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th, the 6th shade, and I mix it with 85. So I'm the 6th and 7th shade out of all the shades. So there's only 3 shades that are darker than the ones that I'm currently wearing. So it is the new Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint, applies flawlessly while instantly quenching skin, leaving skin so hydrated it looks smooth and fresh all day. This foundation moisturizes and plumps skin for 24 hours. It creates a natural, moisturized, and fresh look. And I have to agree with everything that it says in what it claims. It does plump up the skin. It has hyaluronic acid in it, and I feel like when I wear this, my skin looks younger than it does with any other foundation. It really does plump up those fine lines and wrinkles. If you are someone who is aging, who has fine lines and wrinkles, who has texture, who has skin that isn't our 21-year-old super tight skin, you're gonna like this foundation a lot because it really does just plump up everything, and the skin is so supple and so hydrated, and it just looks so much younger and just like healthier and glowier than anything I've ever tried. With hydrating hyaluronic acid, improves the suppleness of skin over time, completely agree. Oil-free, non-comedogenic, doesn't settle into fine lines, yes, like it doesn't. And it's available in 10 blendable shades. It recommends to dab makeup lightly onto face, then blend using gentle strokes in an upward and outward motion. So it doesn't say whether you should use a sponge or fingers. I've done it both ways. Fingers give you a less coverage and it's a lot quicker. I use a little sponge that gives you a fuller coverage. And like I said, because it's a hydrating tint, I was like, this is not gonna give me the coverage that I need. But I have it on right now, and you guys can see this has covered everything that I need to cover. And I have a ton of melasma, hyperpigmentation, uneven skin, acne scarring. Like, I have a lot to cover, and I feel like this foundation covers so well so much better than I was expecting. I wouldn't say it's like a super full coverage foundation. It's very buildable, so I feel like you can have a really light sheer, just like barely there, or you can add a little bit more and you can build it up to be like a medium to full coverage. I would not say it's a straight up full, because you can kind of see a little bit of my skin peeking through a little bit here, and then on my nose you can see a couple of my little freckles. But it's such a natural skin-like finish to where it looks like it's just your skin, but just you have nice skin. It doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. It doesn't look like foundation. It doesn't settle into all the texture that I have on this section of my face. It doesn't get into my fine lines and wrinkles, which this one is just, you know, meh, it's not good. I also have a wrinkle down here, I'm pretty sure, from like looking down at my phone when my double chin collects and then it creates a wrinkle. So I do have fine lines and wrinkles that it could sit into, and I feel like that never happens. I never ever look in the mirror and think, oof, that's stuck in my wrinkle. Like when I wear this, my skin just looks so young and so youthful and so healthy and just so fresh. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys exactly how I like to apply it. Like I said, I've tried it a ton of different ways. I've tried it very minimally. It works great that way. I've tried it with all my powders and my bronzers and everything, and it works great that way as well. So again, if you are new to my channel, I do have oily skin, and it's not just like T-zone, it's like oily, like my cheeks. Sorry, my voice is going. My cheeks get oily. I have a lot of texture around this area of my face. So it's like, there's just like, you know, crevices and a lot of acne scars. I have scarring like really bad on my cheeks here. I have fine lines and wrinkles. So I have a lot of stuff going on, and foundation for me is one of the trickiest things when it comes to my makeup, because if I find something that I love that looks amazing, usually halfway through the day, then it falls apart, it breaks apart, I look like an absolute hot mess, and it's just despicable. If I find something that is amazing that lasts all day through my oil, a lot of the time it will enhance fine lines and wrinkles. It just doesn't look as nice and like as fresh as I would like. The current foundation routine that I was using before I found this was my Estee Lauder Double Wear and my Giorgio Armani foundation. Together, those mix really beautifully, and they last all day and they help control my oil. However, after using this for a while, and then I went back to my normal foundation routine, I was amazed at how much older my skin looked once I switched back to my old foundation routine versus this one, because this really does just make your skin look so much younger. So ladies, if you are in your 30s and 40s and 50s or whatever age you are, and you are noticing that things are not as tight, things are not as smooth, things just don't look quite as young as they once did, this is a foundation that you're gonna wanna try. Even though it says hydrating and you're gonna be nervous if you are oily, I still think it's beautiful. I have to blot my face no matter what, whether I use my normal routine or I use this. Throughout the day, I do have to give a little, you know, a little pat. It's just life when you're oily, especially I live now in a humid climate and my skin has finally adjusted, and so now it's like, oh, you thought you were gonna be okay, but you're not. So my skin is oily because of the humidity here. I do notice that, you know, I got a blot. It just is part of my life. I just have to do it until the day that my skin decides to stop being oily. That's just what I have to do. But I can't say that I have to blot any more than what I usually do with my other foundation. The only difference that I have found between the two, because this one lasts just as long, however, if you touch your face, it will swipe off. Whereas my other foundation routine does not do that. So if I touch my face or the kids accidentally grab my face or whatever, my foundation is not going to be wiped off. It doesn't smear. This one, it smears real easily. So if you're going to be wearing a scarf that's rubbing against your jawline, your foundation will come off. If you accidentally have an itch and you go like this, oh, I'm okay, the foundation will come off. So that's really the only difference as far as like long lasting. And then of course, just this makes my skin look so much younger. So let's go ahead and get into the demo. If you guys haven't subscribed already, please do so. I would really appreciate that. You can click that notification bell and then you will be notified when I upload. You can also follow me on Instagram. I always let you guys know when I have a new upload on my stories. And that's about it, guys. Oh, and then don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you found this helpful. Let's go ahead and get into the demo. Okay, dokes, so I have all of my normal serums, moisturizers, all that good stuff on. So we're just gonna go ahead and start with the foundation. I've got like all these crazy little Einstein hairs right now. So the two colors that I have been mixing together are the Neutrogena Hydra Boost Hydrating Tint. That's the foundation I'm using, I'm sorry, it's early. This is the Honey 85 mixed with the Natural Beige number 60. So I think when you self-tan, if you mix these two together, this is the perfect combination to get that warmth and so that it doesn't look ashy on the face, because I think that's the hardest thing for me, I've noticed when I self-tan, is finding foundations that don't give you that kind of like grayish, ashy cast compared to your body. So I did self-tan last night. I used a different one. It's not quite as dark, but it's a little bit more natural looking. I usually like it to be really dark right off the bat, just so that when I fade out, I'm like still tan. I haven't even showered this off yet, so it definitely is a little bit lighter than usual, so hopefully this will still be okay. I usually start off with the Natural Beige 60, and the nice thing about this foundation is that it comes with a huge wand. So it's really nice because you don't have to get any on your hand, which I don't know if it's like something that you guys have ever like noticed when you self-tan, but it really like ruins your self-tanner when you're constantly like mixing foundations on the back of your hand and then wiping it off, then your hand is always white and it's so annoying. And then I just add a couple of the 85 Honey. I kind of just like put it in between the places that I didn't put the other color. Then I'm just gonna take a damp sponge. This is the Juno sponge. This is the sponge that I use the most. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just start bouncing this into the skin. I've been wearing this foundation for the past, I don't know, probably a week or two. And then I switched back to my regular foundation, which is my Estee Lauder Double Wear and my Giorgio Armani, because I had faded out and these colors weren't quite matching me. And what I noticed was that my skin looked so much more skin-like when I was wearing this foundation. Because when I put on the Estee Lauder, I immediately noticed my wrinkles looked way worse. The texture on my chin looked a lot more exaggerated. And it's crazy because I feel like compared to other foundations, the normal combo that I wear looks so much better. But then compared to this foundation, I was like, holy moly, this foundation makes it look like you have nothing on. Like you just have naturally really great skin. I'm just taking the honey down my neck a little bit just to blend out the self-tan. It has hyaluronic acid in it, and that really does make such a huge difference. I've noticed with just like my fine lines and wrinkles around my mouth, like the smile lines, it looked so much more youthful when I wore this foundation than when I wear my other foundation. And I didn't even realize how much it made a difference until I went back to use my other foundation. And then I was like, oh dang. The skin looks really just like plumped and hydrated. It's not in a dewy, slippery, like greasy way as much as it is you just put some really nice moisturizer on, if that makes sense. Let's just say that I did want to wear this, like if you're going to the beach or you're going to the pool and you're like, oh my god, my skin looks like such poop, but I just want a little bit of something. I feel like I could wear this just alone, just to kind of even out the skin and make it look healthy and like not so, you know, crap. And I wouldn't feel weird without it having anything else on. So I'm just taking the Milk Flex Concealer. So what I have noticed with this foundation is that you do have to work fairly quickly, which I already forgot. And so I should have not done this in all at once. Normally I do it in sections because the concealer, for some reason, it doesn't do this with any other foundation, but with this foundation, it seems to set really quickly. Once you get it on there, blend it out fast. Otherwise, you're gonna have weird little concealer lines. I take my NARS Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder, my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, and my Ben Nye Super White Powder just underneath the eyes. I do that everywhere to fill in all my pores. Then I take my Ben Nye Super White and I just kind of buff this into the skin. It kind of contours a little bit, makes you look like you have better cheekbones than you do, and it just makes you look really awake and like you got really great sleep. I actually got some really bad news last night, quite late last night, and it was a very sad news, so I cried and I didn't get the best sleep. And I feel like this is one of those items that, like, if that's your scenario, no one will ever know that you had a tearful, rough night, because it just makes it look so much more lifted and bright and awake, and it helps to smooth everything out as well. Okay, so see how like it's already lifted my face and made my cheekbones pop without even having to contour yet. The last step I do for the powder is the Giorgio Armani. This is just gonna kind of set everything, blend all of the different powders into each other. It adds just a squidge of just like, I don't really want to say coverage. It is a little bit of coverage, but it's more just kind of like making everything just look as one. I don't know how, it's a really stupid way to describe it, but I just feel like it just makes it look all perfect. And that is how I have been wearing the foundation. So now I'm gonna go ahead and contour, blush, do all of that good stuff. So it's 7:46 at the moment. That is basically when I finished the actual foundation, I feel like. So, because now I'm gonna go on to all the other stuff. So let's just say that 7:45 is when I actually finish the foundation, and then we can keep that as our time mark for the rest of the day. I don't know if you guys can tell, it still has a bit of a glow coming through without being greasy. Okay guys, so I have all my makeup on. I accidentally filmed the intro before I did the hey, my makeup is done. So it's now 9:10. So I think I probably got finished around 8. I curled my hair. I did an intro. So I probably got done around like 8:10 or so. But anyway, we're going off of 7:45 because that's when I got done with the foundation. So it doesn't matter. But anyway, it has now been on for 7:45, 8:45, almost an hour and a half. And this is what it looks like. So I have curled my hair. I have filmed the intro to this video, and my makeup still looks so nice. So obviously it's only been an hour and a half, but I just want to show you that like it's been an hour and a half and yet it still looks so fresh and so pretty, and it hasn't collected yet or anything like that. And I feel like a lot of the time if things are going to collect into this area, it collects right away. As far as like blending everything out, everything blends out so well. It's as soon as you like, as long as you set it, everything goes on really like effortlessly. And I've noticed with this foundation, your highlight actually, it beams just a little brighter because you still have that kind of hydrating like formula, that it just makes everything go on a little bit more pigmented and a little bit better. It looks really good. It's covered up everything I need to cover. It looks so nice. I just feel so fresh and so delightful and so young. There is my face. There is my forehead. And I do have wrinkles at the moment. And then that's what it looks like around the jaw, around the smile lines. Okay, there you go. Now you guys have seen it up and close. On my eyes, because I know someone's gonna ask, this is the new nudes from Huda Beauty. I'll just show you the colors. I'm obsessed with this palette, you guys. Best $65 I ever spent. I have this one in my crease with Teddy in my crease, and then on the lid I put Raw, and then I mixed Love Bite and Spanked together. And then on the very center of the lid, I put this one, which is called Charmed, with the Infatuated glitter on top. So that is what's on my eyes. I love it. It's just so beautiful. Oh, I just think it's amazing. I'm actually really hungry right now. I'll see you in a bit. Guys, so it is currently 7:23. I totally forgot to do a check-in earlier. I had so much going on that I just spaced it. But it's basically been on for almost 12 hours now, and I have not touched it up at all. So of course I am gonna be oily because it's been on for 12 hours and I haven't touched my skin up. I just want to get up close so that you guys can see how it hasn't settled into any fine lines or wrinkles. Obviously I am oily, that's just life. Hashtag oily life. It's still looks so pretty on the skin. It hasn't broken apart, it hasn't gone anywhere. I'm just oily, and then I'll show you once I kind of blot a little bit how much it just still looks great. So there is the forehead. And then you can see even here, it still has not settled into these lines. It hasn't broken apart. It still just looks so nice. It's just a little oily. And then as soon as I just do a little touch up here. So see how beautiful it sits on the skin, how my skin still looks really hydrated and youthful and just like plumped, but like it doesn't actually collect or look poop in any way. So that's 12 hours, guys, 12 hours in. And you saw how oily I was. I mean, I was oily, but I'm an oily person, so it's to be expected. But just like, it just looks so pretty and so glowy and just so young. So I'll go ahead and check in again at the end of my night, and then you guys will be able to see. But I just really wanted you guys to be able to see like how nice it just wears on the skin, because that's what I noticed about this foundation the most, is that it just looks so pretty and just like skin-like. Okay, doke, guys, it is the end of my night. Alexa, what time is it?
9 p.m.
It is 9 p.m. So basically now my makeup has been on for a total of 13 and a half hours. So pretty much a long time. I mean, that's pretty much as long as I would wear it for. So as you can see, I did kind of touch up my oil earlier, and the oil is definitely back. So like I said, if you are oily, this is not an oil control foundation. It's not gonna keep your oil at bay. That's not what it's claiming to do. It is a hydrating formula. However, once again, nothing has gone into my fine lines and wrinkles, nothing has gathered, nothing has collected, it hasn't gone into weird little discombobulation situation where you're just like, your chin is looking crazy. Everything is exactly where it was before. The only thing is that I just have oil. I mean, you can see my chin right here, it looks great. Everything is on. My blush is still there, my highlight's still there, my contour, everything looks really, really good. And everything looks plump. All of the wrinkles are still plumped up and delish. So let's just give it another. As soon as you just pat that little oil off, I could still go another couple hours, I guarantee it. And it would still be there, and it would still be nice and plumped and non-stuck in my wrinkles and not discombobulated or anything like that. It would probably just be a little bit oily, and I would just touch up again and I'd be good to go. There you guys go. There is my full review and wear test of the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. I give this a thumbs up, you guys. It's really beautiful. I just love the way it looks on the skin. It's so natural and skin-like, and it just really does. If you are someone who is worried about those little things, those pesky little wrinkles and signs of aging coming about, you're gonna wanna try this. Just keep in mind, if you're oily, you're gonna want to have something that you can, pat your oil throughout the day. As far as the wrinkles, it's just the best foundation that I found out there. So it's totally awesome. I have been breaking out a little bit more than usual, and it hasn't been a full-on cystic, like ginormous, but it has been just like little whiteheads that come up to the surface real quick, like over the day. And then at nighttime, I'm like, oh, what's this little whitehead? Like this one popping up right here in the corner of my lip. So that's something I'm gonna have to keep an eye on, because I have been using it now on and off for, I think it's almost coming up to like 2 weeks. And I've just noticed that I've been getting little whiteheads popping up. So I don't know if it's this foundation. It hasn't caused me anything cystic or anything like ginormous. It's just been a couple of little bits and bobs, just kind of like around this area. So that's something to keep an eye on, and I just kind of like wanted to mention that because I think that's important to note, that if you are someone who's acne prone, I don't know if it's this. That's the only thing I've changed, so I'm assuming it would be this. Further down the road, if I continue wearing this, is that gonna be a problem? But as of right now, I'm gonna continue wearing it because I really like the way it looks, and I like the way my skin looks with it. but I will definitely keep you guys updated if I do decide to stop because of that reason. Instagram is always a great way for you guys to kind of catch up with me on that kind of stuff, because I kind of like, sometimes I update you on there. It's just easier to just quickly be like, hey, here's what's going on. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. You can watch my stories. It's just easier that way. I hope you guys enjoy. Sorry about my dishwasher. Sorry about the noise. I'm about to go and get myself ready for bed, and we had a really late night tonight. The kids, Jay got off work late, so we had dinner late, and we everything is a little bit late tonight. So we're getting a late night and we have an early morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to thumbs up if you found this helpful, subscribe if you haven't already, and then follow me on Instagram. Bye.